Hello guys, I hope you guys can hear me and see me. Give me one moment. My phone has some notifications on. I'm turning that off. Is it all right? Please chat in the comments. I can see the comments, so please let me know if you can see me and hear me clearly, so that we can start off right away. I think there is some delay in terms of from when I am beginning to speak to when you guys can hear me. That is natural with YouTube. So that being said, let us start off. Please let me know if audio and video is good. Once that part is covered, we will go into in detail about CAT 2021 and CAT 2022 preparation, and how do we go about it, what is the plan, what is the structure, all of that we will discuss as much as possible in this 1 hour, and see how much more value we can give to our students, right? So that is what we are here to plan, right? While we are at it, please like this video, please subscribe to our channel. It matters a lot to us. So please click on the subscribe button, click on the bell icon, hit like on this video. All those small things matters for us. So please do that. Right, audio and video working fine. I have feedback on from the official channel ID as well. Right, one more thing, you guys can still, I guess, see the pinned chat. So if you are thinking about CAT 2022, now would be a fantastic time. We have an early bird offer, about 4,000 off on all our courses, green, comprehensive, and live. And I will explain, like, take 2 minute window to tell you what the different varieties or what do we offer across the three courses. We have a base online course. It contains um, slides, videos, tests put together, right, across three sections. This is added to something called as test dojo, where we have about 10,000 questions, where we have detailed questions. Some of them have video solutions, many of them have text solutions, but proper challenging questions across two levels. One is your basic level, and then is your exam level or CAT level, right? These two, and then adding to it marks put together, gives you what you might want to call as the green course. This also includes your GDPI preparation completely, right? This is the entire bundle structured very well. Over and top of this, you take up hard copy books also from us, then it is comprehensive course. So you take the green course, add hard copy books, it becomes comprehensive course. You take the comprehensive course and then add about 200 hours of live classes for 2022, then it is the live course that we offer, right? What I mean by that, which means if you are signing up for the live course, naturally you will get marks, you will get hard copy study materials, you will get GDPA, you will get the pre-recorded classes for everything as well. It is not only live classes, it is a mixture of live and everything online. We'll cover the entire syllabus like at least twice from now until next exam, maybe three times, right? So if you're preparing for 2020, if you're looking for 2022, now would be a fantastic time to sign up, right? So we have three parts of courses: green, comprehensive, and live. And live is not just live, it is live with a superly structured online course sitting at the bottom of the live course. Right, so this is unique, this is different from what usually other providers provide. We don't have 8 hours of live classes every day. We have probably 10 hours of live classes every week, but we will make those 10 hours count. It is from a bunch of very small hand-picked faculty members, maybe 3 4 members, maybe tops, not more than that. So you will get crystallized information in the most receptible form for you. You can take this and go places. So without much further ado, I want to shift to what I had in mind in terms of discussing what we wanted to do, right? A quick introduction: I'm Bharathwaj. I am a director at 2IIM, and I've taken the CAT exam like 7 or 8 times in the last 10 years. And I did my MBA from IIT Madras. Right? From there, we'll start. Right? There could be several who are watching, who are thinking about CAT 2021, right? And if I can see, my first question is already there in the chat. Somebody has asked that, am I too late? Is there enough time? Right, there is definitely enough time. Please remember that. Don't give in to speculations. There is enough time. Right, the first idea we want to cover is, am I too late, and having self doubts in terms of how am I going to cope up. The 4 months is enough or not? We have about 4 months for November, end of November. How am I going to push through? Is it too late? Should I throw in the towel? All of that. right? I can tell you, find about 400 hours of preparation. Do things that we are going to discuss in detail in this video. You still have enough time. Lot of people prepare for 4 months. Obviously, it goes without saying there are exceptions. There are people who will prepare for 1.5 years, 2 years. There will be the larger chunk will prepare for about 12 months. There is a smaller chunk that will prepare for 4 to 5 months, and then there is a even smaller chunk that prepares for about 1.5 years. Right? But I honestly think it is not too late. Right? Especially if you've taken the exam, it is completely not too late. You should look to prepare and nail this exam. Even if you have not taken this exam, again, something that Rajesh keeps repeating. If you are given a CAT paper and given lot of time, right, to solve, you should be able to understand and attempt or think about how do I open this, how do I crack this, how do I answer this. You should be able to attend probably about all questions in the verbal section, about 34 questions, because it is plain English. That you might get some of them wrong, but it is not like something that you don't understand at all. It is not something you don't comprehend at all. It's common sense. You use common sense, you read patiently, you understand, you're through. Right? One third of the paper is done. In DALR, again, if you spend enough time, at least one or two puzzles you can crack. You can crack it. Right? Given that the condition is unlimited amount of time. Right? Same goes for math. Arithmetic probably contributes about 90th percentile, not percentage of questions, but 90th percentile in the math section. If your arithmetic is set in stone, then you can very easily cross the 90th percentile. If you use common sense, again, arithmetic questions are fairly doable. Right? Your averages, percentages, profit and loss, time, speed, distance, pipe system, work time, all of these questions, you can nail them if you spend enough time. Think about what is being asked. How do I approach this? Right? Maybe if you are curious about how we teach, you should maybe attend a demo class. Right? We offer a demo class for people who are thinking about taking up live classes with us. Right? You should attend every class. I've taken last week's profit and loss, the previous week's percentages. You should ask our students. They'll tell you we did not touch any formula at all. We thought about idea, we discussed the idea, and how do we take that idea and elaborate, expand it to every possible question that is given. So you don't need a formula. You don't need to memorize different formulae, at least for most parts. Maybe in trigonometry identities you need to remember. In geometry, what is semi perimeter or different things you need to remember, but otherwise most things you can cross 90th percentile in math very easily without having to worry about remembering formulae, memorizing formulae and everything, which means about 70-75% of the entire paper you should be able to attempt without having any practice or any knowledge about this exam at all. Which brings us to the next point. You should prepare for this exam this year. If you are thinking about it, you shouldn't wait until next year. Right? The next important question that people get is working professional, how do I find time? Right? If you're a working professional, it is tough. It is probably much tougher than a final year student has it. Right? If you are someone who's slightly unlucky and did not think about CAT when you are in your final year of your graduation, and now is the time that you're thinking about this, then that is the card that you've been dealt with. You can't change, like your 10th score or your 12th score, which you cannot change. This is also something that you really cannot change. So remember that you can't change that. So how do you go about it? You think of this in terms of where all can I find time? Where all can I squeeze in time? Right? Where all can I scramble for time? Be in the scramble mode throughout. Right? You can get some 3 minutes there. You go to Instagram, check out our stories that we post, answer the questions on the articles that you read the previous day. Right? If you have 15 minutes time, read that article. Right? If you have some 10 minutes, solve some Sudoku, solve some 2048. So maybe go through Minesweeper. Right? If you have some more time, if you have some notes you revised, right? Or if you have the 2IM's online course, swipe through the slides. Don't watch the video because it is loud and others can see and all of that. But it is like you're looking at your phone and swiping through slides without having to worry about anything else. Then you're through. Right? Finding time is going to be tough. It is going to be tough for everybody. Right? Especially if you're a working professional, you are motivated to go the extra mile, which means you got to go that extra mile. You can't say, hey, I'm not finding time. How do I go about this? What am I supposed to do? big deal. It is tough. It is tough for everybody. For some it is even slightly more tough, but that doesn't make you a failure, or that shouldn't be a reason for you to give up. If anything, that should be a reason for you to say, I'll buckle up, I will do this, I let us see who's the big daddy here, right? So take it for granted, it is going to be tough. It is going to be tough for most people. Anybody who's seen ABC, IKL, anybody in the top 30 schools is going to have gone through lot of things. Many of them are going to have tough jobs, in addition to which they are going to prepare and get fantastic percentages. See, I'm not saying fantastic by me, I'm not intending to mean 99.9. For some, 92 is a fantastic percentage. For some, 85 is a fantastic percentage. If you are from Tamil Nadu and if you have OBC certificate and if you have a 70th percentile and you want to go to BIM Trichy is your uh, dream school, go for it, my friend. Who's there to stop you? Obviously, for at every single point of time, you will have somebody else to compare with. If you are going to A, B, C, you'll have somebody who you want to compare with and then say, hey, he's gone to ISB. If you are an ISB, you want to compare with somebody who's going to INSEED. If you are an INSEED, you are comparing yourself with somebody who's going to Harvard and Yale. Right? At every point of time, there's going to be somebody else who you can look up to and compare to and all of that. But nobody can tell you what is right, what is wrong for you. You will have to decide what is right or what is wrong for you, and I think that matters, right? If you are a working professional, it's okay. So what? Find time, buckle up, go that extra mile, spend that extra hours, stop wasting time on WhatsApp, Facebook, spend more time watching videos on, not on preparation, gyan and everything, but actual questions that are solving, that are being solved from actual CAT. If you don't have time to look at slides from the course, then go to search for CAT question paper, right? You'll get CAT question paper, you'll get our website online.2im.com, where every single question from all editions of CAT from 17 is there with the detailed text and video solutions. You should go through them. If not yet, you should definitely go through them at least now, right? The URL is straightforward. It is qn.2im.com, right? It's not fancy, it is very straightforward, easy to remember. It is qn.2im.com. So yeah, go for it and take value from this, right? The next point I wanted to discuss, I'm able to read articles but I'm struggling with answers in reading comprehension, right? This lots of students complain about this idea as well, right? If you're able to read articles, you're able to comprehend but struggling with answers, there could be some one of the two errors, I think two, right? Let us discuss. The first idea is that sometimes you are consciously thinking about what am I remembering, right? So don't try to remember the overarching idea. It matters, right? Don't have to worry about the remembering the facts, but remember the overarching theme. What is the idea that is being discussed in this, right? So go for it, read, right? Sometimes we are consciously thinking about, I remember 1965 that this happened, 1983 this happened, Reagan was the president in this time. uh, so you are trying to remember facts, then you are losing out on the essence, right? So this could be one error. The second error is, you sometimes you have preconceived notions that you are not supposed to go back and read from the passage. Who cares, right? I know I scored 99.21 in BRC section in 2 years ago in CAT, where I read it. I read one passage 3 times before I could answer 3 or 4 out of some questions in inside CAT exam. Right? There is nothing wrong in spending 18 minutes in RC passage. There is nothing wrong in rereading or going back to the passage again. Right? Don't let anybody bullshit you in telling you that, hey, once you have read, that's all you are through. No, you need to be completing this in 10 minutes. No, you can't go back again. No, none of this matters. All that matters is how many questions you can get right in those 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever is that section's time limit, right? So start looking out for what errors you are making. It could be any of the 4 5 things that we mentioned. So look at it as, am I reading to understand or am I reading to remember and recollect? Am I not going back to the passage enough? I should know, hey, this question is somewhere related to the first 2 paragraphs, and then I scroll back and then I find the answer and then I mark the answer. That is perfectly fine, right? Reading that paragraph again is also perfectly fine. So remember to not make these mistakes. Right? Don't have a time limit for yourself saying, hey, I want to finish this passage by hook or crook in 10 minutes. Who cares? Take the time that the passage deserves. Right? Remember that. So once you figure out if you are making any one of these mistakes or something else as well, right? Fix the mistakes, your scores will go better. Right? The other thing is I'm able to solve without time limit, but not when under the clock. Especially for quants and DLR, people have this complaint. Even more so for DLR than quants. Right? So people say, hey, once my mock is over, I am looking at the paper, I am able to get 30 questions out of 34 questions. I am able to get 27 questions out of 32 questions, right? But during the exam, I got 2 questions right, I got 4 questions right, which means you're panicking, right? If you're panicking, then everything is going to go for a toss because your brain is not working, right? I'm not saying you can't panic, you shouldn't panic, but I'm saying start, learn to manage your panicking. Tell yourself, hey, it's all right, I'm going to refocus, I'm going to look there however far I can look and take 2 deep breaths, I'm going to reset everything and then I'm going to come back, right? If you're panicking, it is okay. If you're nervous and jittery, it is still okay, but you can always reset and try to come back and use the adrenaline that it gives you, right? So if you are able to solve without time limit, I think you should give yourself a pat on the back and then tell, hey, you know what? I know this idea. I know how to crack this puzzle. I am not it is not that I don't know this. It is not that I don't understand this. If anything, lot of people, when they get to this point, they'll start worrying and putting themselves down because they feel I'm not worth it. If I can't do that inside the exam context, what is the point? No, that is exactly the opposite of what you should be thinking. You should be telling yourself, hey, you know what? If 3 months ago I wouldn't have been able to crack this question, inside outside time limit no time limit I don't care, but I wouldn't have been able to crack. But 3 months later, after so many hours of how many hundreds of hours of hard work, I'm able to crack this question, and I think that matters. Now is the easy part. I need to crack this under a time limit. Let me go there and do that. So set yourself up for being able to answer questions inside the time pressure by appreciating yourself, saying, hey, if I'm able to do this outside the exam, maybe learning how to do this inside the exam is not that tricky. Maybe I'll do that next time and get there, right? The last point I wanted to discuss in this slide is mocks. What mocks, right? If you're someone who's not yet taken a mock, and if you're preparing for CAT 2021, I think it is high time you started taking your mocks. It is super critical for you to take a mock right now, today, maybe tomorrow morning, but as soon as possible, right? Because we have only 4.5 months, right? Why should you take a mock? It is because you are learning to navigate, you're learning to sit through an exam, you're learning to stay attentive for a long period of time. I don't care if you have not completed your syllabus. Like mentioned in the first point, about 70% of the questions you should be able to answer if you're not given any time, right? Which means if you have completed only 3 topics, go ahead and take a mock. It is not wasting a mock. Like, it will be criminal of you if you tell that it is you are wasting a mock by taking a mock now, which is not true. You got to take a mock as soon as possible and make sure you answer whatever right you can get. Right? You'll get the hang of writing a mock only if you keep writing mocks, right? By the time you hit your 30th mark, then you're plateauing at a 98 or a 99 or a 90th, whatever is your percentile goal, right? But if you are after your fifth mark, you're not plateauing, you're still growing, you still have scope to grow. And if you're looking at 90th percentile, yeah, and you're still at 70th percentile after 4 marks or 7 marks, then what is the point? There is no point in taking those 5 marks. So you got to plan yourself to take about 25 to 30 marks from now until the exam, which means they're about of 1 mark in 4 days, which means you should start taking your marks today. Right? So if you have not yet taken marks, please remember, take your marks today. What else? Right. Once again, a gentle reminder: if you're looking at CAT 2022, sign up. It is important. Right. Another thing that I wanted to mention: you are in this for the long run, not until your motivation lasts. Right. Motivation is ephemeral. It goes away. It goes away like this. Right. You can't wait to be motivated on an everyday basis to do things. It just does not happen. Right. You got to be self-motivated. There's something called as intrinsic and extrinsic. right? Intrinsic motivation lasts longer, so remember that, right? Intrinsic motivation helps you go a long way. If you want to go to IIM Ahmedabad because you want to study in one of the best schools in the country, then there is intrinsic motivation. You want to go to IIM Ahmedabad because you feel like, hey, you just want a big salary, then there is extrinsic motivation in some sense, because your focus is not on IIM Ahmedabad, your focus is not on uh, cracking this exam, your focus is only on getting paid better, right? So that is the difference there. So make sure, if you're find intrinsic motivation for your preparation for anything that you want to do in life, right? So find intrinsic motivation, it helps you go a long way. Don't give in to this motivation thing, it doesn't help, right? Once in a while is okay, not every time, right? Next idea we want to discuss is underlying prep strategy for CAT preparation, right? So prep strategy for CAT preparation, you could be preparing for CAT 2021 or you could be preparing for CAT 2022. Either way, read a lot, right? It helps in the long run. It definitely helps, right? Learn ideas, solve a lot of questions, take marks, right? Learn ideas, come back, revise, go forward, solve bunch of questions in drill and CAT level or practice and exam level, and then come back to learning, fix your gaps, and then go to mocks, right? If you have some gap in mocks, some gaps could be the learning gaps, go back to learning and then come back to mocks. Some gaps could be practice gaps, making silly mistakes, go to solving and then come to mocks. It is iterative, it is cyclical, you got to keep trying it throughout. You got to revise over and above all of this. If you don't revise, you are dead. Please don't, as in please don't stop revising, always revise. Revising helps so much, right? So this is the overall strategy for CAT preparation. There is nothing fancy. You learn with intent, right? You want to learn something, learn that. You read a lot. You don't read to retain facts, but you read to understand things. You solve because you want to get used to an idea, not because you want to get a 99 percentile. And then you take marks to see what you can tweak, go back, analyze, go back to learning or go back to solving, and then do this. This is the overall idea of what is the strategy that you should use for CAT preparation. You can be doing this for 15 months, 18 months, 12 months, 4 months, in every possible way. All these points are part of this. You cannot skip any of the point if you're preparing for 4 months or 14 months. If you're preparing for 14 months, then you can do learning and then reading throughout, learning, solving, marks in kind of isolated silos. But if you're doing it in a 4 month sprint, then you got to overlap a lot between learning, solving, and marks, right? Uh, so things to do and things to not do, especially if you're preparing for this year. Plan your schedule really well, right? If you're looking for a schedule, we have a fantastic schedule here. It is 2im.com, online.2im.com/schedule, right? So you can get a fantastic schedule here, right? In the next week, we'll update it for if you're preparing from August, right? So right now there is a schedule that is given for if you are preparing from July. It is still fungible. It is not set in stone. Take it down and prepare. Make your own schedule out of this schedule. Make sure you're covering all the important things and then go through, right? Give enough room for slip ups. Be kind to yourself, right? There will be some mistakes that happen. Some days will be bad days. It is okay to have bad days. It is okay to have slip ups. It is completely all right, right? But be right on the edge, ready to pounce. What do I mean by that? If you are preparing for next 4 months, then you always got to be switched on about getting something right or learning something more or getting that mark, right? Unless you are there right in the edge, then you are not being competitive enough to get to a good percentile, right? So remember that these are some of the things that you should do and things that you should not do, right? Doing a daily schedule is something that you should not do, right? Doing a weekly schedule is probably something that you should think about, right? How much time should I spend, right? About 400 hours is a very good amount of time to prepare, right? Don't set too tight a target on a daily basis, right? Find about 400 hours, be fungible, right? Think of this as in weekdays I can spend only 3 hours a day, 2 hours a day, maybe 1 hour a day. In weekends I'll compensate by doing 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, right? Fix that, but somehow make sure you find time, right? And again, if you're spending 400 hours, Spending 400 hours with not being fully focused, you can spend 3000 hours by not being fully focused. You're not getting anywhere. But if you're spending 400 hours and maxing out, being on the top of your game, bringing your A game to this 400 hours, then you're through for this exam. You don't need anything else for cracking this exam out of shape. Remember that. Right? We'll answer some questions and then come back to the uh, part that I had prepared. Right? Is there enough time for CAT 2021? We've answered that in detail, but definitely. Started in Feb, but losing steam now. Not seeing as much progress. Should I give up? Please don't give up. For the love of God, please don't give up. We will discuss about this in detail, about giving up or taking 2021, 2022, all of that. So please bear with me for some more minutes. You guys are doing a great job. Just here to appreciate you. Best wishes. Thank you, Sabri. Thanks a lot. Uh, Minimum overall percentage needed to get into baby IIMs. I'm not sure. If you are a female candidate, then you have some more advantage. If you are an engineer, you have some disadvantage. It depends, right? If you are a general candidate, you have some percentile, right? Baby IIMs may be even slightly lesser than 95, especially if you are a female candidate, right? Non-engineer, OBC, and female candidate probably 80, 85. I'm not very sure, but thereabouts. Right? Check out Pagalka. You will find lot of relevant information. At 35, I hope 35 means 35 years old. Right? Swapnil. Revenue inspector and house tax department, SC category, and you have scores. Dream is to get into ABC. It is definitely possible. It is not impossible. But obviously goes without saying, you will have lot of questions that are posed in front of you. So you got to find reasonable justifications as to why you really want to do that. But I can tell you, hand on heart, it is possible. Right, there's a deleted comment that says, "Does he speak exactly like Rajesh?" I don't know why somebody deleted that, but I take it as a appreciation. I take it as a compliment. So thank you. Right. Can I make it to IM if I start preparation now? Absolutely possible. That is what we discussed so far. 10th, 12th, I'm not getting there. No work experience. No work experience. Let's say you're graduating in 2021, right? And you want to take CAT 2021, which means you have no work ex, right? Then you are at a back foot. If you are graduating in 2021, but you have taken CAT 2020 and you are joining a school, thinking about joining a school in 2021, the moment your undergraduation gets over, you are looking to join a B school right after, like in May and September, that difference. Then it is not counted. You are at zero, right? If you have some work ex, you are at an advantage. If you don't have an work ex, but you are immediately, let's say your graduation gets completed in 2022, so you're writing this exam this November and joining your college after your graduation gets over in 2 months, then you are not at an advantage, not at a disadvantage. But if your college gets over now and you are planning to join a B school next year, then you are at a disadvantage. So remember that this is the thing. Chance at IIM Ahmedabad, you have a fighting chance. Go for it. Right? When should we aim to cover the quant syllabus? See, you can't really complete the quant syllabus, right? But think of it as, hey, I'll first complete arithmetic, and then I spend some time complete geometry, and then algebra, and then modern math. Take it in this order. While you're thinking about geometry, you should also be revising arithmetic. When you're thinking about modern math, you should be revising everything else. The more you revise, better your chances are. I can tell you that much. 10, 10, 9.58. The profile looks fantastic. Go for it. Sai Tanvesh, go for it. BA graduate unable to find a job regarding preparing for CAT 2021. Enroll myself into MA course. Not really. It is tricky. How do you justify it matters? Maybe, see, again, CAT is a gamble in some form. What do you mean by that? Join for an MA course and then write this CAT. Maybe if something does not go well, complete your MA course and then prepare for next year's CAT and then go for it. Right? You will have more advantage because you have done the undergraduation and the post graduation and then doing your MBA, right? And you also have diversity points, so you should be good to go, right? My profile is 92, 73, 73. 1 year of work in a startup. Possible to get likely, but 73 sounds slightly iffy. C, very likely. Calcutta very likely, but others I'm not very sure. Bangalore I think is very less likely because they want 999. Right, 5 years of work ex want to go for ops, will it be okay? Absolutely okay, go for it. OBC and engineering, OBC and engineering still tricky for A and B. Right? Working in a startup matters for an interview, absolutely. Working in a startup matters a lot. Right? If you actually know what you are doing, if you are actually involved in things that are happening, then you are in a great position. Right? Um, 8.8, 7.1, very possible. Go for it. Can I make into IIM if I start my preparation? Absolutely. Go for it. Don't die wondering. Go for it. First year of MBA, but I want to study in top college. Can I write CAT 2022? It is possible, but it depends on how you handle your interview. Sometimes your interviewers might not be very kind, so remember that. Realistic percentile for FMS, Lucas Productions. I've seen this ID even from the last year, I guess. So preparing again. Realistic percentile for non-engineer FMS, I think is 99. I'm not sure. I don't understand the distinction between engineer and non-engineer for FMS. Working in a registered NGO, if you are paid, you're working full time, then working anywhere counts. You can do a blue collar job, it still counts. You can do a white collar job, it still counts. If you're working in an NGO, it still counts. But if you're doing internship or you're working by not getting paid, like managing 3 hours a day, then it is not count. Right? 75 CSE, chances to convert FMS, I'm not sure. Your category might be going for you. So get anything north of 90, your chances are high. Get anything north of 95, your chances are fantastic. Go for it. I graduate this year and I maintain my stock market profile from last year. It's a plus point. Yeah, if you can get the faculty members talking about that, then yeah, it is something that is good going for you. Right, this year CAT too difficult if you're an SC candidate and you want to think about see 6.5. I don't know how will it affect for FMS. For I can tell you in the top 15 schools, many will accept you if you get 90th percentile. Almost all might accept you if you get 95th percentile. Right, so throw everything into the preparation and see where it takes you. It matters, right? Again, like I kept mentioning, don't die wondering. You won't know until you try. So try. Right? So you answered a bunch of questions. I have something else to answer in terms of CAT 2021 versus 2022. Should I attempt CAT 2021 though my focus is on CAT 2022, or you should attempt? If you are eligible, you should attempt. If you are in your final year of whatever is your graduation, you should attempt. If you are in your pre-final year, don't attempt. Right? Don't do things that might come back and bite you. Don't do that. Not worth it. If you are in your final year, if you are eligible to attempt CAT, go for it and attempt. Right? Because the experience that it carries with it will be really valuable, because you don't know how much time you are going to stand in a line, how long are you going to stare a monitor that just has your photograph and your CAT roll number, right? And if 2022 is your best attempt, right, it is like getting a trial, right? Why not take that trial? Right, don't be afraid of taking that trial. Take that trial, go for it. Right, is it good to attempt CAT 2021 without much prep? It is fun if you are attending without prep because you don't have any pressure. Right, if you don't have any pressure, it is a fantastic exam to attend because you can enjoy your time trying to answer questions, trying to figure out questions and all of that. I'll give you some example. One of my classmates from undergraduation, he just finished his PhD from IIT Madras. Right, he went to GATE and he has answered almost all questions that he knew in mechanical engineering. And then he had some time left and he had some aptitude questions. Right, there was a probability question. Probably he did not know NCR, NPR, and all of that, but he listed down 35 different possibilities because he had time. He enjoyed that. He listed down all possibilities and got the right answer. And then he went on to do a PhD from IIT Madras with his GATE score. Right, so enjoying the exam is fantastic. Go for it. Why should you not do that? Right, what are the advantages? You get to sit through the actual experience. Next year you are not venturing into something new. It is something that you already know. There is a saying that says known devil is better than unknown angel. Don't let it be an angel and you still don't know anything about it. It can be a devil, but you know the devil. That matters, right? So definitely experience matters. Going there, taking up your hall ticket, waiting in line, staring at a monitor, being sharp for the next 3 hours, trying to solve answer many questions as possible. All these things carry so much. I can't even put a number on the value you will get by attempting this year's exam. If you can, if you are eligible, please attend this exam. Right? What else? How can I turn my CAT 2021 prep into CAT 2022 prep? Right? Continue your prep, start your prep, do everything once this year, right? Next year you are stronger and wiser because you realize what are all the mistakes that you did. And the CAT experience is also in many ways humbling. It will tell you who you are, it will put you in your place, and then you realize, hey, this exam is so tough. And then the most important part of writing the exam this year, if even if you are preparing for next year, no, CAT always throws surprises. You are hell bent on comparing it with the previous year's paper and imagining this is how this year's paper going to be. CAT has never stopped surprising. If you face the surprise in person this year, you'll be ready for a surprise next year. Right? You might not know what the surprise is next year. Even then, you'll be mentally prepared to say, hey, something is going to go wrong. Let me handle it better. You will be in a much better place because CAT is most importantly a temperament checking exam than anything else. The other things everybody can do. The managing your temperament and making the most out of that 2 hours or 3 hours. That is what people struggle to do, right? So CAT has become that exam that tests who you are temperamentally, right? Might as well take this advantage and write the exam this year. Right? What are the advantages of preparing for long term? If you are preparing long term, right, think of it in terms of how am I going to understand ideas clearly, how am I going to make the most out of learning a theory, learning a theorem, understanding what why there, see, there's an idea called false weights, right, or a cheating milkman, right? If you get the idea right, then it all falls in place. If you don't get the idea right, then you're only constantly worried about, hey, can I memorize some formula, is there any shortcut? You are constantly searching for shortcut. If you are looking at a 4 month window, don't do that even for a 4 month window, right? If you have a long time period where you can prepare, you can do really well because this exam is shifted to avoiding shortcuts and favoring those who have done things in the long run. Read a lot, solve a lot of puzzles, keep yourself sharp, and learn ideas underlying, right? In math, it helps a lot, right? Looking for a long term prep plan. The long term prep plan is that you take the same four ideas, you read, you learn, you practice, and then you take marks, right? You keep doing this over and over and over again, right? You will get there. That is the one liner prep plan for you, right? If you want a detailed plan, you start with arithmetic in math and then you proceed to geometry and then your algebra and then your number theory and permutation probability, right? So yeah, for verbal, read a lot for the next 6 months. Once you're done with that, go for it and then make sure you start solving actual RC puzzle, sentence rearrangement, all of that, right? And then see where it takes you, right? For DLR, do lot of puzzles and then keep yourself sharp. Do actual CAT question papers. Search for CAT 2020 DLR puzzles. You'll get two and click at the top. Click. There is video solutions available for almost every single question. So use that. Challenge yourself and solve. You should be in a good place to go. Right? Is there something else that I'm missing? Right. I'm going to spend 2 minutes on how does a well-made course help you, right? Dramatically change your prep. Right. 2IIM offers a course where there is there are slides and then there are videos and then there are tests interspersed with each other. Right. You are learning something for the first time. You can choose to learn, let's say, percentages for 4.5 hours. You can choose to learn percentages in 45 minutes. Right. So it depends on where you are, how much you know already, right? If you're revising, you can revise the entire quant section using the 2IIM course in under 25 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, right? Every time before I enter cat exam, I spend at least half an hour. I revise entire arithmetic and some part of geometry before I go into the exam in less than 30 minutes. The course is fantastically structurally very strong. It is well thought out. We want you to learn arithmetic and then geometry. It is all arranged in one particular way because it is worthwhile to do that in that way, right? Sometimes getting a lot of live classes is like watching TV, right? You're bored, you keep changing channels, nothing really registers in your head, right? But attending classes in a structured manner, either it is recorded or in a live class, right? You get a timetable and then you go for it, right? That is the best offering that anybody can offer you if you're thinking about cat preparation, right? uh, have a structure. Even if you are not preparing with any coaching, like you want to do prepare on your own, right? Even then, take a schedule, stick to the schedule and prepare through the schedule. Don't let somebody else dictate how you should be learning. That is super important, right? So if you have a well made course, that can dramatically change your cat preparation and the outcome. I know a lot of people who said, hey, you know what, I know I'm sharp, but I've tried this exam thrice and I've never managed to cross 93rd percentile. I got 70 in one, 90 in one, and 93rd in my third attempt. I know somewhere I'm missing something, right? That's somewhere a good quality course with lot of mentoring can help you plug that gap. So remember that, right? Basic DLR, where should I start? uh, Go to 2IM's question bank. There are 5 6 different types of DI, again 4 5 different types of logical reasoning. Solve all of them and then go to actual cat question papers, solve all of them, it'll help. Being an art student, bachelor's in sports management, weak in math. If you are weak in math, you should definitely check out 2IM's course because we have a fantastic NCRT fundamentals booster type thing available on our course. So we will have give you access to NCRT 6 7 8 completely broken down piece by piece, question by question, right? If you are worried about math, then this is something that you should really look forward to, right? Ping us, you can send us an email at info@2im.com asking about, hey, I'm weak at math, I heard about this fundamentals booster something, right? Ping us, we will tell you how to access that, where to get that, what is the fees, all of that we'll tell you. But if you're worried about math, sometimes people prepare for 1.5 years because you are worried about math. You are worried about how am I able to cover so many topics, right? If you are indeed worried about math, then you should definitely check this out about a lot of questions available with video solutions teaching everything from 6 7 8 NCRT available inside our course. Like, please reach out to us if you are keen, if you are worried about math, if you have some problems with math, right? Then we should be signing up for that, right? 4 months, can I do cat? Absolutely possible. We have discussed that over and over and over again, right? It is definitely possible. VRC, practice more or read more. For VRC, clock at least 300 400 hours of reading, at least 300 hours of reading, especially if you are looking for next year's exam. If you are looking for this year's exam, at least do 150 200 150 hours of reading, and clock this 150 hours in the first 2 months so that the next 2 months you can read for half of the time and practice lot of VRC questions, right? So yeah, this is what I wanted to convey. And right, uh, some thoughts. Why is it okay to prepare for longer? It's completely okay because while others are probably enjoying, you are struggling and you are working, you are learning, finding the joy in learning, all of that. You are spending so much time is investing in yourself, right? Who else will invest in you unless you are investing in yourself, right? I'm saying we are ready to invest time in you. We are ready to give you a fantastic course and mentor you throughout, handhold you as much as possible, clarify your doubts 24/7. We'll do all of that. We'll even motivate you, right? There's something that we don't want to, but we will go that extra mile. We'll even motivate you. But unless you want to spend time for yourself, who else is going to spend time on you? Nobody else is going to, right? We have several thousands of students, right? But who gets lot of help? are the ones that pings us. Right? We need to take that initiative. You want to get help, you will get help. Right? You are worried about many other things and you're not taking that effort to get that help, then you're not getting that help, right? We can be available to you, but it is in your purview to take that help, grab that help, right? So while others are sleeping, it is completely okay if you're working hard, because you are investing in time in yourself, you are investing for your life, you are investing in making you better, and I think that matters, right? Not everybody can do that, so remember that. If you are light-hearted and you feel like, hey, I'll give up, okay, others can't tell you to fight for yourself in the long run. That is what I call about, I invoke something called as intrinsic motivation. I already spoke about that, right? But the idea is, if you have intrinsic motivation, you want to do something better for yourself in the long run, then you will invest time, right? I'm also going to read this because I really love this. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night. Right? This is one of my very close to my heart, very motivating, if you might want to call it that way. But this is a fantastic line to remember. Maybe write it down somewhere, stick it in front of you, keep looking at it daily, and prepare. Give yourself the best fighting chance, right? Okay, we'll answer some questions. I had quite good habit and I've lost uh, in the last 1 month. Go back, restart it, read art from article that is being shared today. It is all right. Getting 15 marks constantly, find out, analyze really well and find out where are you not getting something right, right? Because your mark score can plateau at 50 because of two reasons. One, either your gap is in learning or your gap is in practice. Find that and then go back and fix that gap and then come back, your score should go up, right? Once again, a very gentle reminder, please click on subscribe, it matters a lot to us, right? We will continue to provide loads of free quality, no nonsense information to all our subscribers and others as well. But please click on the subscribe button, click on the bell icon, it matters a lot to us. Please click on the like button for this video, it matters a lot to us, right? So thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't yet, please do that now, it matters, right? Verbal scores fluctuating, then you can't take it for granted that I'm at 70. Some days I'll get to 50, some days I'll get to 100. That is not true. Right? If you're at 70 and someday you're getting to 50, maybe on the exam day you'll get to 50. So you don't know that. Right? The accuracy matters. Start going towards accuracy. Even if you're answering on this is my very good starting point. I'll tell you. Right? If your VRC scores especially are really fluctuating, tell yourself, in my next mock, I don't care about my outcome, but I'm going to pick 3 questions or 5 questions, some really small number, and get all of them right. I cannot afford to get anything wrong in the 5 questions. You're, for God's sake, you're answering only 5 questions. You should pick and choose those 5 questions and get those 5 questions 100% right. Right? And then 2 marks later, do this for 2 marks, and then 2 marks later, tell yourself, hey, I'm good with picking 5 questions. Maybe I'll do 7 questions, and then maybe 10 questions, and then 12 questions, and then how you grow, right? Don't go in terms of, I want to answer 23 questions out of 30 questions. Who cares, right? It is definitely not helpful, so don't do that, right? I'm from Hindi medium. Can I take your course? See, definitely sign up as a trial user at online.2im.com. You can sign up and try 2 classes, one in math, one is percentages, one is geometry 1, and then 1 or 2 classes in VARC, and then 1 or 2 classes in DALR. Try them on your own. I can't tell you, I don't know what is your level of understanding of English. I can tell you, we speak only in English and we don't do fancy American accent and everything. We speak Indian English. We speak plain English, like how am I speaking now, right? So if you can understand this, then you should be good to go. But don't listen to what I have to say, right? Go sign up as a trial user, check it out. It'll take 3 minutes to land to the first lesson. Maybe in 1 minute. If you're smart enough, it is 1 minute. Maybe if not, you're thinking and OTP gets delayed and all of that, then maybe 3 minutes. But in under 3 minutes, you should be at the screen where you are starting to learn percentages for free. You should be there, right? Go to online.2im.com. It is the link is available in the pinned message as well, right? I'm posting the link once again as well, right? If you are looking to check out course, please check this out. Again, don't take up a course without trying a demo. It is important to try out a couple of classes and see if it will work for you and then sign up for the course, right? So yeah, again, the importance of structure is super critical. Remember that something that can offer something in modularized pattern, something that will say, hey, do you know what, I'll teach you this question standalone, forget about the entire world. We'll learn this idea and then going on to the next idea, right, at your own pace. That is phenomenal, right? If you are thinking about CAD 2022, you should definitely check this out. I start to restart again and I lose concentration after 10 20 seconds, stuck in loop. I've been there, right? The point is, the point that I mentioned previously. If you are motivated, you got to find, if you are focused, not even motivated, if you are thinking about, hey, I want to go better places, I want to join better colleges, I want to get better salary, whatever could be your motivation, if you are thinking about that, then I don't care. I'll push myself through grueling 4,000 word article, 15,000 word article. You search for New Yorker Guantanamo Bay. There's an article. There's about 17, 18,000 word article. Right? When many of my colleagues come and tell me, hey, your articles are long. Right? And then I laugh at them and then I tell them, I'll send you a link, read this completely and then come back to me. Maybe it'll take 2 days, maybe it'll take 5 days. Read this and then come back to me, right? They read a 18,000 word article and then they come back and then say, oh, how big that was, right? Once you read something that has expanded your horizon to 18,000 words, 4,000 words article is nothing, right? That is how you learn, my friend. Search for uh, Guantanamo Bay, Guantanomo, I guess. Guantanamo Bay, New Yorker. There's a super long article. It is super interesting. If you have not read that, you should read that, right? And if you can finish that in a week's time, then any article you can read, you will read it completely. I can tell you that much, right? How to solve LRDA questions without using a lot of time? There are no shortcuts. Absolutely no shortcuts. The best way of going about that is finding which LRDI puzzles to pick, right? Search for puzzle selection. Even I will do that. I will post the link. Puzzle selection blog from 2IM is fantastic, right? Read that. See how you can make the most out of that 30 minutes, that 40 minutes, right? You go through this blog, it will tell you bit by bit what is your strength, what is your weakness. If you are strong in this way, should you pick this question, should you not pick this question, with a real life cat 18 paper example. We have described it in detail in this blog, so please read this blog, watch the video at the end. I've shown you how I did pick puzzles in the exam. I spent 7 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes and picked maybe 2 3 out of 8 puzzles and got a very good percentile, maybe a 95ish, right? So it is not about utilizing much time, but it is about picking the right puzzle and spending a lot of time there and figuring it out, right? So yeah, any other questions, guys? If you have any more questions, please feel free to post, right? I'm again going back to this, right? Remember, maybe write it down. Remember, right, if you don't invest time for yourself, nobody else is going to invest time for you. So be your own champion, lift yourself up on your own, right? You will thank yourself later, right? A good coaching can only be a catalyst. It can help you trigger that, right? But the large amount of work that you have to do, that is on you, right? Whenever somebody says, some parents will come and ask me, hey, can my daughter get 95th percentile, can my son get 90th percentile? We'll tell them, hey, we will contribute about 25 to 30% of your preparation. Remaining 75 to 75% of your preparation depends on how much time and effort and intent you have on this exam or your child has on this exam, and I think that matters. Right? I'm able to solve past LRDA CAT question without time. So LRA tougher because of time restrictions. Yes, they are. Especially last year, it was super tough because of time restriction. Right? You've done tremendous by curating the reading list. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Right? A mugging up word necessary to improve vocabulary. No, read a lot. Right? Your vocabulary will naturally go up. Read a lot. Read as much as you can. You will start understanding things in context. I teach, for God's sakes, RC passages, sentence rearrangement, right, to our students without knowing the meanings of words because I can understand them contextually. Right? I am not naturally gifted with great English. I spoken for probably an hour now, about 55 minutes. You did not see me using fancy words, flowery words, right? I speak plain English, but are you able to communicate your idea? That is important from my point of view. Likewise, you don't need to know fancy words, vocab, and everything. See, knowing vocab doesn't help, it helps, but memorizing random words doesn't help, it does not. Right? Maybe go through Renan, not Renan Martin, go through word par medici. Use it as an exercise, it helps. Right? So if it is an exercise, you are learning something. Any learning will not go for waste. If you are learning something, go for it. Why should you not learn that? Especially if you are preparing for CAT 2022 and you have time, go for it and learn. Right? But don't memorize, take a card and a word list from GRE and memorize words for the heck of it. Don't do that. The best way of improving your vocabulary is by reading a lot, and after reading, go to Google. See, nowadays you long press a word in your Chrome, Google pops up from the bottom and they say, hey, do you want to check the meaning? You scroll up, you will find the meaning, right? And then you scroll it down and then you are continuing your article. It's not even switching tabs, it is not even switching different apps or opening a dictionary. The world has become so much comfortable, right? Make use of that, right? If you long press and then click on search this word in Google, then you know the meaning in like less than 3 seconds, and then you're not yet diverted. You come back and then you continue your preparation and then you go places, right? By understanding this, right, and not memorizing, you retain the sense of how did I feel about this word. That I think it is very underrated. People want to remember meanings, but how did you feel about a word is super useful, and it is have been always saved my ass whenever required, right? So remember that. So if you understand how do you feel about a word, right? Lot of times I read a word and then I feel this is a very negative connotation, right? I haven't even heard the word, right? So that helps a lot. Remembering how did it feel, what was the meaning, that helps a lot, right? MA in English from Miranda House, Delhi University. Will this pose as a disadvantage? Not really. An engineer, about 70% of every batch is going to be engineers. MBA has nothing to do with engineers. So they are also shifting careers, shifting paths. If they are at a disadvantage, you are also at a disadvantage. But they are not. So you are also not. So remember that. RC accuracy drops only because I get stuck between two options and end up marking the wrong option. See, the answer is very simple. You might end up laughing at my answer. If 9 out of 10 times you are marking the wrong option, start marking what you think is wrong as the right answer. It worked for me. It might sound very silly, but sometimes how you think about a language can't be changed like that, right? You need to get used to do it for years together. If you don't have that time and you're sure, whenever you take your marks and then you keep checking. Like, this question I had doubt between B and C. This question I had doubt between C and D. This question A and D. Right? You keep on marking down and then figure out every time you've gotten it wrong. How many times did you got it right versus how many times you got it wrong? If you have insanely gotten it wrong 9 out of 10 times or 10 out of 10 times, the answer is very straightforward, staring at you, right? Mark what you think is the wrong option as the right option, right? And then start learning why is that so. Then you are through. It might sound like pseudoscience, but I can tell you it works, right? Should I skip CAT 2021? I've seen this name, so I think you've been preparing for a while. Don't skip CAT 2021. For the love of God, don't skip CAT 2021. Prepare well, right? Whatever you can prepare, prepare, and then attempt this exam. Not end of the world. The world is not defined by uh, your CAT score. It doesn't have to be. You shouldn't be defining yourself by your CAT score, right? So neither the world should define you by your CAT score, nor should you do that. Attend this exam to find the joy. There is joy in learning, and we at 2IM strive hard day in day out to bring out that joy in CAT prep. Right? If you are serious about CAT prep, you should think about signing up for 2IM and at least trying out the classes that are available for free. How to get speed in calculations? By solving a lot of questions, by practice. Quants and VRC, it is for RC, not for quants, not for verbal ability either. For reading comprehension, it works. Sorry. Question choosing trick. For quants, you got to skip questions left, right, and center, and then you skim through the paper while answering any question that can be answered in, let's say, in 1.5 minutes. And then, if the paper is super tough, right, you have skipped so many questions, you answered so little questions, but you are there at the end of the paper in 7th minute. Now you know what is medium level question, you start answering that. If the paper is very easy, you are there at 35th minute, but you have answered almost 16 questions, and that is the maximum you could have any which way answered, right? So that is how it goes for quants. For VARC, I don't have any specific strategy per se. I see a passage, I start whatever order they are throwing it in, I'll solve. If I'm done with two RCs continuously, then what happens is I'll worry slightly about my next RC because I'm not sharp enough. So I'll go to answer some VA questions and then come back to RC questions. I gave 5 marks, gotten more than 40%. My basics keep forgetting, keep revising. Right? You have all day work, most of them have. See, I can tell you, not everybody has to crack CAT in the first attempt. Not everybody does indeed. See, people go to IIM ABC after second attempt, third attempt, fifth attempt of CAT. Right? So don't think of this as I should nail this exam this year. People who are real achievers have achieved after attempting CAT multiple times. It is not a failure to not crack the exam the first time. Right? Have that set in stone confidently. Right? Once you are there, right, then think of it as, hey, any which way I'm going to write next year's exam. I'll try and figure out what is the best I can do this year. Right? Go section wise, read a lot, your VARC scores will improve, right? And then figure out puzzle selection. Scroll up, find the puzzle selection blog, read the blog, and see if you can improve your score in DILR. Right? Complete arithmetic thoroughly. Forget about everything else. Right? Complete arithmetic thoroughly. Right? And keep revising only that. I can tell you, unless the paper throws a curveball, right? There is a 85% chance that you will get more north of 90th percentile in the math section without struggling, right? So yeah. uh, how to deal with QA and DLR without no math background? See, all of this is up to 10th standard math. If you don't have math background, it is from +1 +2 UG everywhere, but not until 10th standard, right? So go back to NCRT, prepare. If you are thinking about wanting a course that adds more than CAT preparation, goes 2 layers below to the basics of 6, 7, 8 math, maybe even ninth math to prepare, reach out to us. You can reach out to us at info@2im.com. Right, this is where you can reach out to us. Tell us you want something more than regular quant training, right? We'll be able to offer you that. So remember that. But I can tell you hand on heart, if your 10th standard math is decent, you should be good to go. Don't feel agonized about, hey, my math is not great. How am I going to fare in this exam and all of that, right? So remember that. I have 65% in engineering. Can I make it to top IIMs? I think Calcutta is very possible. Others not so sure. At least AB not so sure, right? Worried about DLR unseen questions, how to pick among them? No, you spend 3 minutes and see all the sets, and then you go solving, picking sets, and then you solve. Which is why I said, go open this blog link, maybe bookmark it, read it later, but read this blog. It helps, right? Is it enough time for CAT? There is enough time for CAT. We have told it multiple times from the beginning of the session, there is definitely enough time for CAT. Go for it. Right? Don't die wondering. Right? You can always die wondering what could have been. Lot of students even pull back in the last minute from their preparation, serious preparation, because they want to have a reason that something else is the reason why they did fail in this exam, but not themselves. Right? Until you give yourself a fighting chance, you won't know if you really did have that chance or not. So remember that. Also working, not a big deal. 4 months enough to prepare. Remember that. Start with the RCs or VA. It depends on who you are. I don't have a very clear preference. I can tell you in the last 10 minutes don't start an RC. That is something that I can tell you. But otherwise starting with VA or RC doesn't really matter. Does not move the needle. How to increase comprehension? Read a lot. Increasing comprehension will help. Read so much that comprehension becomes like your second nature. Right? Too much problem in data interpretation. Keep solving, my friend. It is not that tough. Solve Sudoku. Right? Every day solve 3 Sudoku puzzles from now for the next 3 weeks. Right? And then solve basic DI puzzles and then solve cat level data interpretation puzzles. You will tell me that it has become significantly better. Right? You are not doing the right things or you have not done the right things yet. It is okay. You can still do the right things. Can I skip geometry? Preferably no. Preferably no, because it is tough. Right? Lot of questions from geometry. Once I move on from arithmetic after studying algebra, I keep forgetting algebra. Revise once in 2 days, once in 3 days. Go back and revise. The more you keep revising, better it'll get. How to join your classes? Send us an email or ping us. I'll give you the numbers as well. Right? These are the numbers. You can reach out to us, right? Or you can go to online.2im.com, sample a bunch of classes, and then join. If you want to speak to someone of us, here are the numbers. You can speak to us, right? I think we have answered as much questions as possible, right? I think we'll call it a day, right? About there is still enough time to prepare, right? You can nail this exam, crack this exam out of shape if you focus and spend 400 hours that is really focused and not just some 400 hours. What to read, novels or articles? Read at least 2 articles a day, maybe 30-40 pages of novels a day. It helps. Both. How to tackle low scores in mocks, right? Give me 1 second. I'm going to share a link that will help you tackle low scores in mocks. Right? There is also a blog that talks about low score in mocks. So search for 2IM blog low scores in mock. You'll get that. Right? There is this answer that is very close to my heart. I'm sharing this on the chat. Right? If you have low scores in mocks, check out this bit.ly link that I had shared recently. Right? As the title suggests, should I skip? Don't skip. Right? If the title is to say, should I skip 2021? Bring in people who want to skip CAT 2021. Tell them, suggest them, please don't skip CAT 2021. That is the reasoning behind this entire session. So remember that. Right? I'm exhausted by writing CAT since 3 years. Fourth attempt, really exhausted. So wanted to go for 2022. See, it is okay, my friend. Which means you don't have any pressure on CAT 2021. Just write for the heck of it. Right? One of my colleagues prepared for CAT very seriously multiple times and didn't get anywhere. He got infected by COVID a bunch of times and wrote the exam and is now in a B school that he thinks is a decent place to be. Right? Sometimes maybe I wrote CAT 2010, 2011, 2012 and 2015. Right? The first 3 times I prepared very seriously. In 2015, I just wrote the exam for the heck of it. I went to a B school. My maximum score was in my just like that attempt. Right? It could be yours as well. So please attempt. It matters. Preparing for CAT 2022, January be a good time to start giving mocks? Yeah, fantastic. Go for it. More syllabus? Not really. 10% syllabus completion is good enough to start taking mocks. If you scroll through this, there will be a slide where we talk about mocks. The last part of that slide, Definitely go through that part if you haven't heard that part of the video yet. Right. You and Rajesh sir always motivate me in toughest time. Thank you so much. Thank you. It is very heartening to know this information. Thank you. National level players get calls from at low percentile. I'm not sure. If they have a sports quota, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Right. This percentage, this percentage, this percentage. I have no clue. Do I have a fair shot? Yes, absolutely. ABC, doubtful. But any college in the top 15, absolutely possible. Why should you not try? Give it your best and see where it takes you. Right. So we have overshot our schedule by like 10 minutes or so. I hope I did enough justice for those who are watching. Right. Should I quit my job? Please don't quit your job. If your job is tough, tricky, please find another job and then prepare for CAT. But don't quit your job. As a general rule of thumb, whenever you are quitting your job, you should either have an admit in hand or you have another job in hand. Otherwise, as a rule of thumb, don't quit your job. It could be super tiring, it could be stressful, it could be of anything of that matter, right? Find another job and then quit a job. Having a job is super underrated, but having a job can remove so much pressure from the system. So have a job, it helps, right? If this job is tough, find some other job. If this stream is tough, find a job in some other stream. If this company is tough, find some other company, right? But don't quit your job. Don't use CAT as an excuse to quit your job. This is for anybody who is even mildly thinking about quitting a job to prepare for this exam. Not worth it. Just not worth it. But if you find, hey, my job is super tiring, super stressful, my boss is, and somebody, some name that I don't want to say in a public forum, all of that, find another job, right? So, yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I hope you guys took something out of this. Once again, there's a fantastic discount going on. You know where to reach us. Please reach us. Try out, sample a course before uh, signing up for a course, right? Sign up as a trial user, try something, right? All the best for your CAT 2021. Unless you are not eligible for CAT 2021, you should write CAT 2021. If you are not eligible, write CAT 2022. Otherwise, by all means, write CAT 2021 and see where it takes you. 3 months enough. There is 4 months, not 3 months. So prepare for 4 months. Scoring high, absolutely possible, right? All the best, guys. Please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. My team keeps saying, hey, you're not telling them enough to hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe button. So I shall make it a point to tell you that please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell icon after you hit the subscribe button, right? Follow us on Instagram. We post articles and then questions based on articles on our Instagram. The URL is this is simple, right? Click on this link, go to Instagram, follow us, and make sure you make the most out of your cat prep. Right? If anything, there is joy in cat prep. Find the joy in cat prep with 2IM. All the best, guys. All the best.